Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here again, cutting through the noise to get to what really matters. And today, we're getting into something that feels, well, both super basic and weirdly hard to pin down in modern life: leisure time. Now, you might think, sure, leisure breaks, they're good, but this isn't just about stating the obvious. We're digging into why it's become so essential, really non-negotiable for our health, and maybe more importantly, how we can actually, make space for it and keep that space. We're drawing heavily today from this really insightful essay, The Vital Role of Leisure in Modern Life. It kind of reframes the whole idea of downtime, our mission to cut past assumptions, maybe uncover some surprises. So yeah, let's unpack this, because if taking a break ever made you feel, I don't know, a bit guilty, this is definitely for you.
It really is. And the essay points out this huge paradox we're living with. We've got all these gadgets meant to save time, endless entertainment, information, but actual free time, genuine unstructured time. It feels like it's vanishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of stuck in this culture where being busy equals being important, right?
Uh,
So leisure gets pushed aside. This source material really helps us wrestle with that. It's not just defining leisure, but understanding why it's so crucial, especially when, everything seems set up to work against it.
that's a really strong way to put it, set up to work against it. Feels true sometimes, doesn't it? Okay, so let's start with the basics. The essay gives a nice, clear definition right up front. It calls leisure the free hours people have outside of work, school, or daily responsibilities. Simple enough. But it's not just like the absence of obligation, is it? It's dedicated time.
Exactly. And what's interesting there in that simple definition is it immediately points towards personal well-being and agency. It's not about just sitting around or being unproductive in the usual sense. The real point, the source says, is to relax, properly recharge, and do things you actually enjoy. It's that element of choice, doing something because you want to. That's what makes it different from just, killing time scrolling on your phone. It implies you're deliberately doing something that feeds your spirit, not just filling up the hours.
That difference, deliberate engagement versus just zoning out, that feels really important, because it's not about not being productive. Like you said, it's maybe productively restorative. And when you talk about feeding your spirit or nourishment, that's where the health stuff gets really compelling. The essay really digs into the benefits, starting with the physical side. And it's more than just, moving a bit. Yeah, think about something simple, like taking a walk in the park or playing a sport casually. The essay shows how this isn't just having fun. It has real measurable effects on your body. We're talking lower stress hormones like cortisol and better heart health, fitness. It even gives that specific example, a short jog after work. It's exercise, sure, but it also releases endorphins, those natural mood boosters, gives you energy. It's like this built-in system we have.
hmm And that physical boost links straight into mental health benefits, which, let's be honest, in today's world are incredibly important, maybe more than ever. The source really emphasizes how things like getting lost in a good book or just really listening to music, no distractions, gives your brain a vital break. It's not just pausing, it's like active mental recovery. It stops you from burning out. Our brains need that downtime. Seriously.
Yeah.
And there's research mentioned too. It notes that people who make relaxation a priority, they tend to have lower anxiety levels, measurably lower, and they sleep better too. So if you step back, look at the big picture, it's clear leisure isn't just about feeling good for a bit. It's fundamental for preventing some pretty serious health problems down the line. The essay actually gives a pretty stark warning. It says that not getting enough leisure can lead to things like chronic fatigue, getting sick more often, even depression. It just highlights how critical this deliberate free time is for keeping ourselves together mentally and physically.
Wow, that is sobering when you put it like that. It really drives home the point. Leisure isn't some optional extra, it's essential, like a nutrient. So, okay, the big question then is, what does this mean for us? For you listening, how can you spend that leisure time effectively to actually get those benefits we're talking about? The essay gives some really good practical ideas. It kind of groups meaningful leisure into a few areas, like outdoor activities get a big thumbs up, hiking, biking, maybe gardening. It's not just the exercise. There's something about connecting with nature itself that studies show is really restorative, good for the body, good for the head. But it's not only about being outdoors. There are great indoor options too. You could say, spend an evening trying a complex new recipe. That's creative. You learn something and you get to eat it. Or maybe watching documentaries, educational videos, turning screen time into something that actually grows your skills or knowledge. And then, of course, socializing. Can't forget that. A picnic, game night, just chatting with friends or family over coffee. Strengthening those connections is huge for happiness. Real resilience booster.
And the absolute key here, the essay really hammers this home, isn't what specific activity you pick. It's whether it resonates with you personally. The advice is clear. Choose stuff that matches your interests. Things that feel genuinely refreshing and enjoyable, not like another chore on your list. Which, brings up a really important question for everyone listening. Think about your leisure time right now. Are the things you're doing genuinely recharging you, making you feel good? Or are you just doing what's easy or what you think you should be doing? That intention, it makes all the difference in how restorative it actually is.
That's such a key point, the intention behind it. Makes it active, not passive. But let's be realistic. Finding the time, making that intentional choice, it's not always simple. We have to talk about the real-world challenges, the things that get in the way of enjoying leisure. The essay calls out some big ones. Well, first off, there's just long working hours. Simple as that. A lot of people are just wiped out by the end of the day or a week. There's not much energy left for anything ambitious, right? You just want to collapse. And then there's the massive one, technology, specifically our phones. Always being connected. The source puts it perfectly. It says these devices often blur the line between work and rest.
Oh, absolutely. That blurring. It's sneaky. It creeps in. It ties into that whole hustle culture idea, doesn't it? This feeling you should always be on, always productive. And the essay gives that example we can all relate to. Checking work emails on the weekend or late at night, responding to messages, even just thinking about work tasks. That phone in your pocket, it's like a digital leash back to the office. It makes truly switching off incredibly hard. It's not just work spilling over. It's work actively taking over time that could be leisure, turning it back into obligation.
And it's an internal thing too, right? Not just external demands. We feel this pressure, this maybe productivity guilt if we're just sitting still doing nothing. I mean, who hasn't felt that little twinge? Like you should be doing something more useful. The essay suggests this conditioning is a real psychological barrier. So it raises this question. In a world basically designed to keep us plugged in 2047,
Right.
how do we consciously create that space to disconnect, to really rest our minds? What tools or strategies can we actually use against that constant, always-on pressure?
It's a huge challenge, no doubt. The source acknowledges that. Think about the cognitive load. Just the sheer amount of information, the constant switching. It's exhausting for our brains, our prefrontal cortex, the bit that handles focus and decisions. It's always firing. It needs downtime. Time to just wander. If it doesn't get that, we lose out on creativity, on deeper problem solving. Even managing our emotions gets harder. So yeah, it's not just about feeling tired. It's about our actual thinking abilities getting worn down, which makes the solutions to the essay offers even more vital.
Yeah, that definitely raises the stakes. Okay, so the good news. The source doesn't just leave us with the problem. It offers practical solutions, things we can actually do. So faced with long hours, tech intrusion, productivity guilt, what steps can you listening take to reclaim that leisure time? The essay really pushes the idea of setting clear boundaries. Sounds simple, but it's powerful. It talks about things like turning off devices after dinner, just that. Think about what that could actually feel like. An evening without constant pings, without that urge to just quickly check. Just about deliberately drawing a line, maybe making a ritual out of it, separating work you from rest you. What about, I don't know, charging your phone in another room overnight, or making a rule, no opening the work laptop after 6 p.m. They're not massive, dramatic changes maybe, but small, consistent boundaries. Acts of self-care, really.
Exactly. And that leads to the essay's main takeaway, really, which is that prioritizing leisure. It's not just nice to have. It's an essential strategy. Essential for well-being, yes, but maybe even for being better at the other stuff, like work in the long run. Sustainable performance. It's not about finding extra hours magically appearing. We all know that's unlikely. It's about being conscious, deliberate, about dedicating the time you do have, and then protecting it fiercely.
Yeah, the essay basically reframes leisure. It's not an indulgence you earn, it's an investment in your clarity, your health, your relationships, ultimately, your ability to show up fully in your life. So it means shifting your mindset. Leisure isn't the leftover stuff you do if there's time. It's a fundamental part of your schedule, just as important as work or sleep. And yeah, that takes intention, planning sometimes, and definitely being willing to say no sometimes. No to the things that try to eat into that personal time.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, the message seems really clear. Leisure time isn't just a perk. It's not just a break. It's absolutely crucial for a balanced, healthy life. A fulfilling life, even. By really understanding why it matters so much, by prioritizing it deliberately, and choosing things that genuinely recharge you. Well, that's how you boost your overall well-being. Significantly, it's about taking back that time, making it truly yours. Not just once in a while, but consistently.
Absolutely. And maybe as you think about all this, don't just focus on what you might do for leisure. Think about how intentionally you guard that time. Which leads to, I think, a really practical, maybe provocative question for you to take away. What's one small boundary, just one tangible thing you could commit to setting, maybe starting today or this week, to protect a little piece of your well-being? What really stands out to you from our chat about bringing more intentional, truly refreshing leisure into your own routine? And what positive changes might happen if you did?